Jordan.
We're live.
Welcome to the Hubcast for today,
Hubcast.
Wednesday, October 5th.
The day.
Yeah, you actually got the date.
2016.
Wednesday in October.
And Jordan's not here. Isn't that fantastic? Isn't that... Well, actually, wish Jordan a speedy recovery. He's not feeling very well. So I am here as his duly replacement.
You know what I'm going to miss?
What?
I'm going to miss him
check
tring to
at
get
the
the
top.
topics going.
Oh,
Are you guys
yeah.
having another side conversation?
Yes.
You know how podcasts work?
Yeah.
We can still
don't
hear you
know.
in the mics.
What topic are we on?
Move the mics away.
I'm
from
doing
your
the
face
intro
if you're
right
gonna
now.
talk.
Yeah. So he was pointing out that it said
Come
it's
on!
Jennifer Lawrence, and so
Come
I was like,
on!
"Where's Jennifer?" Sorry.
Anyway, for hub dates. All right, so for
Where's your scotch?
hub updates,
Yeah,
as
where's
you
your
can see right
scotch?
here, right here.
Oh.
Guys, shut up! Right here, there's a nice, shiny, brand new glow-in-the-dark
It's
shirt.
melted.
If you turn
I'm
on
wearing
the
a bright,
lights right
shiny
now,
one.
you probably wouldn't be able to see it because the cameras wouldn't pick it up. But it glows in the dark.
It does glow in
possible.
the dark.
So we had a
Radioactive.
video go up yesterday, a little short we did together, a little
thought it was
commercial.
pretty
Went
It was
up.
really fun. You guys
Yeah, I
did a
liked
great
it.
job. That was funny.
Oh, thank
I liked
you.
it.
So it's available
Ooh.
on the Rooster Teeth store. We also have this nice little cap here. We got some creature cap. We got some kind of
Yeah.
Halloweeny type
Both
merchandise
glow, basically.
that are all
'cause
available.
That hat is bright as
They're
fuck.
available.
I've been wearing that more. I'm more okay with the green now. I was a little
Yeah.
bit weird about it at first, but I think it looks
The green
pretty
on
good.
the other side.
I think it matches.
Well, you kept
Yeah, it
wearing
does.
it, and so yesterday when you came in, your hair was all like completely tucked to your head, which
Yeah.
was kind of strange to see.
Yeah.
But-
Usually my
someone
hair is
ordered the
more full of
shirt.
life.
Woo! Thank you.
Has anybody
Thank you.
noticed that the candle is sitting on top of my Hanzo mouse pad?
Must go to Hanzo.
Because that thing is, it's worthless. If you weren't here last week, I think it was, whose Christmas
What?
present?
It's worthless?
It's worthless
That's fucked
to
up.
play
Overwatch.
Unless you have a
Overwatch
high
with.
sensitivity.
I
'cause you-
agree.
Yeah, because his pecs lock in your wrist, and you can't
Yeah.
move at all outside of that degree.
That's probably why there's not too many of those type of mouse pads.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
wait. What I was going to say before
What?
was I'm going to miss Jordan trying to keep everything on the rails and
yeah.
going, well, where he'll stop a story early just to make sure we keep going, but there's no reason as to why we stop the story.
Oh yeah, don't worry, because I just ignore people and keep talking,
No,
or yell at them.
we should yell more.
This
We
is
should have
this
more
is the
side
timeout
comments.
corner over here. What?
How do you know
Say
you're
what?
not in the timeout corner?
Oh,
We are.
Speaking
in
of
the
Overwatch, I
keep
just
it
noticed
on
your shirt.
corner.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if
That's
I've
pretty
made direct eye contact
that?
with you
I
the
got it
entire
yesterday.
day, so
What is
It's
it?
Lucio.
Oh, more Overwatch
Lucio.
reference,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
show me your moves, right?
I play.
Yep.
Yes. And I played
Show me your
today
moves.
with the shirt on
Is that what
as
he said?
Lucio, and it was the best.
And then show me your moves.
I wish you could record your own voice lines in there. That
That
would
would be
get
great.
hairy real quick, but
well, if
Pretty cool,
only
though.
you could hear them. Everyone else would
Yeah.
be generalized.
Oh, that's a good idea.
But yeah, because that's what they on Super Mario Maker. You could record your own voice lines for when you die or when you like
Oh, you can?
land on something, but it wouldn't go online.
That's
So like
cool.
I had one that said like "Stick your master sword in me" whenever you'd like
Oh.
land on it, but they
Did you
wouldn't
make
let.
that? Did you record
Yeah, I
that?
recorded
or,
it.
Oh,
I
That'd
had
be
Little
cool
Joe
for-
play it.
I do remember that.
Yeah.
You know, somebody would end up doing the Hanzo ult and it'd be like, "Oh, something like
oh
that."
god.
Oh
Yes, you know
yeah,
it.
that would
You
definitely
know it.
that would definitely happen.
Like it would show up on streams and recording stuff, which would be okay because
Yeah,
it's
it'd be
still
fine.
it's still compartmentalized. But just putting it out there, would
I
be
think
a
they also don't
disaster.
want to have their
Dun, dun,
game be
dun.
ruined by like racist comments and stuff like that being put into it because you know
Yeah.
it would be. And then famous streamers would like.
Oh,
I
they
don't
would
know,
hear. Yeah.
They'd spread it. They'd spread it like a plague.
Harry, real quick.
Oh, yeah.
Something that also has been in the news a little bit that we're going to talk about a little bit was Twitch Prime. Twitch Prime is a thing now.
Yep.
If you have an Amazon Prime subscription,
Which I already had.
Is it a
one.
which, yeah, we
convention?
already had it for just work purposes.
Never mind. It clicked.
Yeah, there's a bunch of different benefits to it. One of the things that actually benefits content creators is you get a free subscription now. So if you have a free subscription and you want to give it to us,
I subscribed to Kriparian.
I haven't subscribed to anybody yet, but I need to think carefully
Twitch Prime.
about who I should subscribe to with my free Prime subscription.
And you also get like some in-game stuff. Like there was a Hearthstone hero, which is the whole reason I got it. So there's a new priest hero. There's a Smite skin. There's a Ymir
Ooh.
Twitch Smite skin. There's a couple other games. One of them was Paladins too. Had a skin in there.
A lot of high res
Yeah,
deals.
a lot of high-res stuff. There's some Blizzard stuff. But yeah,
Cool.
it seems relatively cool. You get a little crown next to your name. Yeah, there they are. Those little blue crowns.
Yep.
Oh.
Jack Displacer and Dr. Jonky
Yeah.
695.
And they're
But man, at the end of the day, I think it's just kind of
Genius.
a bonus to having Amazon Prime because Amazon Prime is
China
awesome.
Prime?
I fucking
I
love
love
Amazon.
Amazon Prime. And
Oh,
it's just
yeah.
a bonus.
It's very convenient if you order frequently from Amazon, and now on top of that, all their video service comes rolled in with it
That's
too,
And music.
pretty sweet.
and music.
Because
yeah.
I give like all of 21 Pilots and a bunch of other bands on my phone just because
Also,
I get free
Chicago
Amazon
Lights
Prime
is
Music.
Yeah.
That's
Super
awesome.
convenient because we initially had that just for the shipping, and then eventually they started rolling out those other things. So it was just an added benefit to all of that. So yeah,
Prime.
Can't see the whole chat.
I can't either.
Some things get cut
I
off
messed
a
it up.
little,
Thank
little
you.
bit.
you getting
Feel like-
blocked? You getting your blocked?
That works
Sip?
too.
All right,
Blocked.
Steph, take away our first topic. I'm doing what Jordan does and just throwing somebody under the bus to introduce the next topic. What's
The shock. Hashtag the shock.
Now I don't know what this is.
Wait, what? Hashtag the shock.
Yeah.
I don't know what this is. So
Oh, yes, you do.
take it away.
Which camera am I looking at dramatically?
That one.
Dun,
Oh, wait,
dun, dun,
that
dun,
one.
to your
The
camera.
shock. I was.
Are you?
Why don't
I
you
was-
do that again? Do that again.
Okay.
Just say the shock.
They're pointing to the cereal. This is the cereal story.
Oh,
okay.
why'd you call it
Yeah.
the shock?
Okay.
Because
it's shock.
Say the
I
shock
will tell
again.
the story. Ready? The shock. I was emotionally scarred a few weeks ago.
Get shocked.
Yes.
Ah,
Every time after I say a sentence.
All right.
Okay. So, what happened? I was at home snacking on some. Dan, you want to bring them out?
The shock.
I
Wait,
meant
I'm
the-
shock guy.
Yes.
You were eating some of these.
Yeah. So I was
Tasty, aren't
snacking
they?
on some of these guys.
This very box.
Shock.
This is the box.
Is that rosemary? There's coming out of the
Crap
bottom.
keeps falling
shit.
out of the bottom of it.
That's because I.
It's a damaged box.
now.
been tossed
It's a damaged
around.
box now. So we'll just put that here.
What's the punchline?
So what happened was I was eating these, little suckers by the handful. It was dark. I was tired. I wasn't paying attention, and I felt something really hard in my hand.
Hi-oh.
Shocking.
That's what she said.
Wait,
jokes
wait. The
around-
shock.
Yeah, there you go.
That's
Make
what
this
Chris
as dramatic as
did, by the way.
possible. So I started feeling around, and I was like, I just figured that it was a few Cheerios stuck together. You know how they
yeah,
get
Also
as-
really
could be
hard.
as they
misconstrued
do.
sexually.
Yeah, and I'm. It's like midnight. I'm just doing my thing. I'm like, what the fuck? I looked down at my hand, and what did I
You
find?
should
What was it?
show us.
A rusty nail.
Show us that rusty nail,
I will
Steph.
show you this nail. Well, did I
So
do
you
that?
legitimately found a rusty nail in a bag of Apple Cinnamon Cheerios.
Legitimately found. Put this.
It's about
do we know it's
2.5
not a
inches
prize?
too, by the way.
It's not a prize because
Like for like
this
Texas
is like
Chainsaw
I don't know if you
Massacre or
guys can
something.
zoom in on my camera here, but this thing is bigger than my fucking pinky.
So that must have come out of the ceiling where all of like the corrugated
Can you zoom
shit
in on
was.
this sucker?
a little bit.
Right
you go.
here. This is the nail.
Here,
Look
hold it
at
in your
this.
hand like this. There you go.
Look at that.
The nail.
Can you see that thing?
The
and it's
nail.
rusty.
What the fuck?
A rusty
It's huge.
nail.
The shock.
Put a Cheerio next to it for
Here.
scale.
Okay.
Can you put
For
Cheerios
scale.
on it?
It's a
I
2-inch
can try.
nail.
Oh, here's a couple that are
Speaking
actually
of
stuck
scale,
together.
it is
Okay.
a 2-inch long nail.
The shock.
It is
Look at
threaded
this.
towards.
Can you penetrate the
midway
Cheerio, please?
through the nail?
You can't, so it's not a prize.
The limo doesn't fit.
Someone
in the
said the
garage.
phrase I was looking for. That's a big fucking lawsuit.
Oh, see, okay, now
So
you brought this in about a week and a half ago.
yeah, after I found it,
After you found it.
and was like, what
So
do I
And
you
we
do?
were
Probably
like, should we
stale.
do a video around it? Should we talk about it on the podcast? And I had said, don't do a video.
Yeah.
Try to reach out to a lawyer. Jordan then said, ambulance chaser, because he's Jordan.
Yes.
And try to sue the pants off him because that's dangerous.
Yeah, if I had been like a 2-year-old that like was
Yeah.
snacking on Cheerios and mom wasn't paying attention,
Or even
like
just like contamination with the Cheerios.
I went
or-
through this whole box.
If you
man,
had the-
before
Well,
I
and-
found this nail.
If that was in milk, it would have gotten some of the
Yeah,
rust.
so-
Well, and can I just say,
Particulate in there.
I was blazed out of my mind a couple days ago. At night, I was in bed, not in bed, I was on the couch and we were watching Luke Cage. I was eating food. I didn't even care what was going in my mouth. I was just shoveling shit in.
Exactly.
If I had been
You
eating
would've
that,
eaten that rusty
I would have
nail?
eaten that rusty nail.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. For
Sorry, I just
20-something-year-old
wanted to
toddlers,
throw that in there.
that would have been.
So we
Killer.
decided to contact a few people. Well, Alex did. So Alex, if you want to go ahead and
Only the
start
best in the
your part.
business were contacted.
When you contacted, who did you contact?
I contacted the strong arm
And
and the bulldog
Now these are
Yes.
local Colorado
Yeah.
shyster
Legends.
lawyers, right?
and
Yeah.
Big Mike Naughton Ford.
Big Mike.
who's a
Nine.
car dealer, not a lawyer.
But another local
He
television
didn't return
commercial
my
celebrity.
calls, so
Yeah.
Nah.
So, but we did talk to one guy from Frank Azar's crew.
He's the
We
strong
won't
arm?
say his name.
He's the strong arm, right?
Yeah.
The strong
Frank
arm.
Azar is the strong arm. is
I
what
will
he's known
make
as.
sure that you get your legitimate claims from the people who hurt you. Sorry, that,
That
was my
was a
impression.
beautiful
Thank you.
impression.
What a platform, Spencer.
I know, that's what those are the
I'm voting
commercials.
for you.
So
I'm putting
we
you and
called
your
this
base
guy.
it on the ballot.
Do you have mesothelioma?
Night.
Then call me.
Oh, I've seen that
Never.
commercial for like
The strong
15
arm.
years.
Tilted
I'll
hat
strong
Dan.
arm that mesothelioma right out of you.
Strong
give you
pat
some
on the
money.
back.
Anyway, continue. Where
Alex?
were we left?
Where the fuck is this going?
Yeah,
Okay.
you're talking about the strong
lawyer
arm.
stuff. What happened with the lawyer stuff? How'd that pan
Okay,
out?
so me and Alex called this guy. We won't name his name. And he was quite a trip to talk to.
Let's
might
call
I say.
him Mac McKinsey.
Ooh,
Mac McKinsey. We called Mac McKinsey. And
Who works for the strong arm.
Let's call him Cracker Lamb.
Cracker Lamb.
Cracker Lamb's his middle name.
that's
Mac
it.
Cracker Lamb McKinsey.
Shaka
yes,
Flan.
I'm not going to remember that.
Can you say the full name?
Lamb McKinsey. Cracker Man.
Cracker Lamb McKinsey.
Cracker Man McKinsey.
The third.
The guy. So we chatted with him, and he basically was
Yeah,
politely
basically.
telling us that they can't take our case because A, I wasn't injured, which is understandable.
Why didn't you
It's
eat
You
the
can
understandable.
arrange
nail?
that.
I wasn't. I
Yeah, you should have poked.
No, I
You should have
can't.
poked the nail
Whoa.
through your cheek.
You have a
This is
soft,
the
you
injury,
have a
Steph.
soft palate right here.
Oh my God!
Just put the nail in your mouth and go.
stop. This is like soft.
That's one of the
having
worst.
like.
And palate-related injury.
Shot
is
to
just-
the heart.
If you want,
And
and
Whoa!
you're so
Blame.
too
You guys are destroying the
vain.
evidence.
You're too. Fuck
I
it.
do have to send this in.
if you want to get your legitimate claim, you have to eat that nail.
well, we're gonna leave that in there.
Just like what's her name, Pippi Longstocking.
Exactly. She
She
ate
had
that
to eat the
nail.
nail. For her
the
claim?
nails. I think
did?
they
Her
actually fell on the
legitimate
ceiling to
claim.
her soup, and she's tough as nails, so she's just eating it. And this like big
What
burly
Pippi
guy.
Wasn't
was
Debbie
like,
Longstocking
Reynolds
is that?
Pippi Longstocking in the movies, or is that a
I don't know.
cartoon?
The older ones, like the.
What?
Oh,
I'm
you know
not
what's
eating
so
the nail.
funny about all of this?
I don't know what's
You know that
happening.
SpongeBob episode where he's like, "I had nails for breakfast."
Oh,
And
yeah.
they're like, "So?" He's like, "Without milk, you would have eaten it without milk."
yeah, because I was going by the
What a
handles.
lost opportunity.
Art-
But wait, we have to finish this.
Imitate.
We're never
Finish
gonna
the
get
story.
through it.
Spencer,
So,
you
Reality.
say milk.
Milk.
You
Did I say milk?
It's
I probably
milk.
said milk.
Malk.
like Malkovich.
Like,
Somebody was saying they were listening to an old creature talk, and I kept saying "then weird." I
Then,
don't know.
like-
I
How
didn't
are
see
you
the
saying
episode.
it?
I don't know how
were
I
you
was
like,
saying it.
Then?
Then,
SP
I don't know what I was saying.
Games.
I just
Now
saw
I'm
that
gonna-
tweet
New
earlier
sub.
today.
New
New
sub.
sub. Spat Gamer.
Thank you.
No, SP Games. Thank you. Twitch
Someone
Prime.
wrote, I feel whole. Do they know the story already?
They don't know.
They
Oh
don't
my
know.
gosh. Okay, so this guy was basically, he kept repeating, I know you want to feel whole again. I know you want to feel whole. It's
Because
like, what do you mean?
this rusty nail left a hole in your life.
Yeah.
At one point, was he ever like, "I can fill that hole. I can fill your hole, Stephanie"?
no.
Okay.
And he's like, I would
Because that's usually a
understand-
setup when it's like, "I can make you feel whole
If I
again."
can do anything to the hole, I'll take your case.
No, he was
Usually
basically-
with attorneys at law.
It's a tr-
They like
he was
holes.
basically saying that like why I could just go back to the store and get a new box of cereal and I'd be whole again. He was trying to say nicely like it's a cereal, like you'll be okay.
doesn't
But
know
then he
enough
was
about
like,
holes.
I understand the shock of finding the nail, like really dramatic. And me and Alex starts laughing, like snickering, and I'm like, he's on speaker, so I'm like trying to like remain calm and not start laughing because then this guy on the other line is going to be like, what the fuck are you guys doing right now?
Oh yeah.
So anyway,
Dicking
Alex, do you have
around with
anything
me.
to add to that?
I just hope that this plays out.
Yes.
I hope that you feel whole again, Stephanie.
Well, yeah. So
I
'cause
do
it's at
now
Mercy.
because
So
Are you
yeah.
able to talk about the results? Or are you
Yeah.
waiting
Yeah,
for that
yeah,
to
we can
happen?
bring it
Yeah,
up
what
because it was
happened?
a great experience. So what happened is me, Dan, and Spencer decided to call General Mills. We decided to go to the Mr. Mills himself
Mr. Mills.
and discuss
He's very busy
what
being
happened.
a general and all.
Yes, the general's soup busy, and
Little did they know his name is General Mac.
Mills.
Mac.
the lamb,
Mac Mills.
fucking
Lamb cracker.
Mac, Crackler Lamb. Mac the
whatever
guy
it was.
Mills.
I don't even remember. And so we called Mills and like they were super nice. Spencer pretended to be my husband.
Yep.
My hick of a husband.
Which you set up quite nicely. When you were calling him, you were like, "Oh, sorry, if you hear something in the background, it's my husband. We're on speakerphone."
Yeah,
So
and
what
then
is
he
this
laughed. You
one?
guys on
Laughing.
the call duration was probably about 10 minutes, and about halfway through the conversation,
Yeah, halfway
Steph
through.
slyly slips in, "Oh yeah, my husband's here on speakerphone
To which
as well."
the guy snickered. He was kind of like, "Oh,
Yeah, and
okay."
he chuckled a little bit, and then
Yeah.
Spencer. But Spencer's impact on most of the time when we were talking to the guy
was like
or
the last
Steph was,
minute.
Spencer was just like, yeah, do that, or like he
Yeah.
was really participating, and then he just came in at the end of the call.
Well, I was
and just,
waiting
like,
for a
went
good
in
moment to
heavy.
jump in, and the biggest problem was that guy was nice.
He
Yeah,
was
he was
super
customer
nice.
He was a great
the guy.
guy.
Was great, yeah.
And so
He's the person. He's the first line of defense to diffuse lawsuits because he's the complaints guy.
and
Yeah.
he's doing a great
No,
job. I
he
hope he gets a
killed it.
raise
I hope
because
so, too.
not only was he enjoyable, but he was very personable.
Yeah,
and he was
he
funny
laughed
as well.
at like every joke, because there was at one point like they asked he asked, "Oh my God, did you eat it?" And I was like, "Well, no, I was eating it by the handful," and it was really bad.
and you're like, I don't mean to say. He's like, oh, don't worry.
He's like, "I'm sorry, if that's not normal."
At one point, you were like, "Yeah, I don't think I've had this problem with any of my other boxes of cereal." And he's like, "Oh well, I would hope not." It was a perfectly polite conversation where
It
he was
was
like,
great.
"Oh yes, let me ask you some questions."
But then the end hit,
Yeah.
and I wrote down on a pad of paper. I was like, compensation, because I wanted you to ask.
Spencer.
Yeah.
Which
I
he
remind
did
you.
say. He did say exactly what he replied to. He had already said that. He just didn't clarify it as
He was
compensation.
very straight with me, and so at the end, he was like starting to wrap the conversation up, and I was like, "Wait, now, what's the compensation we get
Yeah, he
for
gets this
for the
accent.
eating cereal box?" I
You asked this?
I did an accent.
With that accent.
What if this had gone to the Supreme Court, and you would have to play it out as the
I'm
husband?
like, please,
No, I know.
please, guys, I'm the husband.
Because
Or get
she was
dismissed.
doing perfectly fine, and they joked before the call about him being the husband.
Yeah.
But they were halfway through the call, and she hadn't said anybody else was there the entire
I know,
time.
but I
and
got
then she said,
nervous.
"Oh, my husband's here," and I'm
'Cause
like,
I
she fell
got-
back on the
Shit.
story.
Yeah, I fell back on the story because I could like feel Spencer, like we were writing, like I was nervous he could
could
hear
feel
other
he was
people in the
coming in.
background, so I was like, crap, what if he thinks this is a joke because he can hear other people? So I was like, oh, my husband's on the phone, because I just
Yeah.
well,
Can I just say, when I was on the
nervous.
call, I did not want to make it seem like it was a joke. I wanted him to take it seriously,
Yeah.
which he did.
Until
Luckily, because I
Spencer
almost
asked
cracked.
for
So I-
compensation.
crack.
I
You
did
laughed
crack
at one point.
I did laugh at one point, but I was on the call and I was like, "Do we need compensation for the
Literally
eating
in
boxes
that
of
voice,
cereal?"
that
And he's
tone.
like, "Yes, we're going to send you 4 vouchers for 4 more boxes of cereal," which is
Yeah, they're
Mail
sending
free?
Yes,
yeah. And I
mail
was,
free.
I
but
wanna
I
do
was
this
like,
next time
"Can
we
you
get
use
a
that on
mail."
any box of Cheerios?" And then he's like, "You can use it on any box of Cheerios," and I was
Yeah.
like, "Or any box of General Mills cereal." To which we could use it on any box of General Mills cereal.
Right,
Oh.
and which they did, which is great.
And this is where the laugh came
So then
in.
I was just lost. I was lost. I had no straws to
Spencer
grab.
was stuck in the role and continued on
And
with.
Spencer was like, "Do you have do you have any of those crazy light up spoons?"
Which they do have. They have light up spoons.
Wait, the milk
Yeah.
changing? The
yeah,
one,
they,
like
they used to have the
temperature?
thing where you
Yeah.
could stick the
I
spoon
love
in.
those,
Yeah.
Yeah, a
They
lot of
turn
people
blue
do.
or
And he's like,
Yeah.
"Well, that is a very popular call
So-
we get, but sadly we do not make
So
those
luckily
anymore."
they did that, but I also when he
dug
said that I
themselves
was
in a
like,
hole.
"What are you talking about?" Like pretending like we were bickering husband and wife. So we tried to keep that whole thing
Yeah, it was authentic, I
going
guess.
authentic.
And
He
now
was-
we're actually
so-
married.
So
Because we have a pending
he was
lawsuit.
super sweet though. I asked him about those light up spoons. He had a direct answer.
Yeah, I know.
It
He
wasn't
was-
like he was lost.
That
he
guy
knew.
was awesome.
I bet he has a
Whoever
collection
He
of
was fantastic. So
changing
it turned out
spoons.
Well,
great.
anyway, you have 4 free
So-
boxes of cereal coming
4 free boxes of cereal coming.
What are we gonna get?
for the price of
I don't know.
a rusty nail.
I'll
More.
probably get another box of these
Those
because
are
I do
pretty
love
banging.
these. These
You know,
are really
I was
good.
personally given compensation. Steph said she'd give me and Dan a box.
I did.
Oh,
'cause
yeah.
they were in
Steph,
a-
Steph, do you feel like this is good enough compensation for the shock?
I do feel whole again. Does that work?
I was asking.
Well, now you have no case because
I-
you
you know-
one lied to them. 2, you just said on camera
You feel
like
whole again.
forever that you feel
So now,
whole.
now
so
the case
it's
is
all settled
closed
now.
because
Yeah.
you feel whole.
If I had gotten
Well, and
hurt,
there's-
I would have been pissed. But like, luckily I found the
Yeah.
nail, not some child. And hopefully they figure out if there's any other boxes that are infected.
I really
with
hope
parts.
they recall those.
It was from the Buffalo
Yeah.
plant.
I hope
he,
they do.
He took the UPC code
Yeah.
and the
So.
other information regarding
I
what
was asking-
batch that was.
I was asking you before the call what you wanted. You didn't have any answer.
Because I'm
We
not
didn't
like
know.
I'm
Yeah,
not,
I know, I know.
I'm not
It's
an
sort of when
aggressive
you-
person. Like
you don't have to be aggressive though. Like I asked in a southern accent what we could get, and he already had an answer for
I
us,
guess-
which he'd already told us, I think. But
Yeah.
I know what you want. Because if you demand, I bet we could have gotten 12 boxes. I bet you if we had pushed
I'm
hard.
not that kind of person to be like, what do I get? Like I just wanted to inform them.
Well, you're a good
I
person.
Just, I
You're a good
guess.
person.
Fuck,
You
I
could
hate
have
being a good person.
complained that there were more Cheerios than nails in your box. And they
If you're
falsely
gonna have nails in
advertise.
it, you
I
might as well have a
could've.
box full of
Yeah.
nails.
Well, so now I do have to send it. They're sending papers, and I need to send that nail back to them so they can like inspect it. It's also because like if someone was fucking around with them, they'd be like, okay, we'll send us that piece.
We should weld like a bunch
So.
together so it's like this gnarly
Like a
blob.
mass.
nails.
Like she said, it was
nail.
1 2-inch nail. Why is there 30 nails melted
Yeah.
together?
Wait,
One
don't
unit.
everyone tweet at Cheerios. They did fine. It's
No, they
fixed,
were very
it's good.
sweet.
Don't. Yeah, it's all
They were
good.
very
Watch
sweet.
how it goes, club.
No, the guy was
Cereal anarchy.
incredibly nice, and they sent us
Yeah.
free cereal for
Yeah.
something that they couldn't even control.
Yeah, it
I
was
bet there were
a
like
worker that was probably
ultimately-
high and just.
Ultimately,
Who knows?
There was a rusty nail inside a box of Apple Cinnamon Cheerios.
You got a raw deal, Steph.
You know what
Yeah.
the real question is, though? Are you
What?
going to buy another box with your own money?
I just said I probably.
Oh, okay.
I really like these. Like I've
Yeah.
had them before.
I like Honey Nut Cheerios.
so
I'm
much
not
so
good
that
for
you
you.
I'm gonna buy them
pass
no
a
matter
rusty
what.
nail.
Yeah, it's.
I mean, all we're getting at this point is we're just trying to get more out of them, even
Yeah.
though we don't really care.
Well, these are like my dessert. Like that's why I was eating them late at night. Like because I try not to have sweets a lot, so like I snack on these. So I.
Look at all
will
those
probably
grains
get
that are
them
in it.
again. Look at that guy, Phil. He looks so nice.
Phil Mill? Is that his name?
It says Phil on the.
I'm Phil
Phil
Mill. I'm a
Mills.
general, and I make cereal.
So when I was a teenager, I heard stories that someone found a used Band-Aid in a burrito at Taco Bell.
Ooh,
That's
and
disgusting.
I was just kind of like, whatever. It's Taco Bell.
well, and that's kind of
Gross.
on the store side, because probably some teenager had like some like Band-Aid around his finger and it just fell off. What are you gonna do?
I mean, I know it's perfectly.
Well,
Well, when
was-
when we were in high school,
Hiding
there was always a
massive
story
war.
about the Wendy's chilies with the finger in the soup and the chili. Like that, Wendy's lost a ton of money from that too, because
Really?
people didn't go
Oh,
to
yeah.
Wendy's for like 6 months while the case played out.
Man.
That was
Never
some
heard of that.
serious shit. I remember
was-
that.
But my
Serious.
point is that Taco Bell is awesome, and no used Band-Aid will ever keep me away from Taco Bell.
Ew.
You know
But
what?
will a rusty
Taco
nail keep you
hell.
away from Cheerios?
No.
Yeah.
All right.
At the end of the day, yeah.
At the end of the day, somebody could
Ultimately,
commit
I want-
murder in front of me, and I would still be okay with them.
Ultimately, I want 3 more boxes of Cheerios after I find a rusty nail in one of them.
I was saying, what if she gets another nail in a box? You
Yeah.
get
That'd
4
be
more.
ridiculous.
It can multiply forever depending on your luck with nails.
Like,
We
oh,
could all
same
just
batch.
start.
Whoa!
Oops.
Man.
We could all start getting free Cheerios boxes.
Oh,
Yeah.
Just
I'm
call
down.
them in, they'll never know.
Balls in
never
your
have to pay
court,
for-
General Mills. Where am I pointing?
See, I don't know either.
Nails in your court.
You guys are facing the thing so you can
But
see
it's
which
covered up
camera.
by-
Yeah, but you can
I
tell
see
which
my-
angle it is.
I know.
Anyway,
We just like to
The
overcome.
My
nails
favorite
in
part
your
of that-
court.
I can't wait for
my,
lights.
my favorite part of that story is the fact that you guys went to an ambulance chaser and you're like, and he was just like, rusty nail in the bag, huh?
Sorry, I just read that comment.
But you didn't get hurt.
It would
my
have been
favorite
really
part.
great if you got hurt.
Yeah.
Well,
I
I
just
could
don't
have
think
gotten a
we
lot
can
of
put
money
this
if
on
I
a
got hurt.
commercial.
What?
He says, I just don't think we can make a commercial out of
Yeah,
this.
we can't say
no.
we helped this person who got hurt from a rusty nail in a Cheerios box. It's a little bit different when it's like she found a rusty nail in her Cheerios box. Plus, also,
Yeah.
I think it's really tough to prove anything because
I
you
mean,
could-
The bag was
anyone
open.
could
The
have
bag
just
was
thrown it
open.
in there. Yeah. It like
It's just
Even
the
I
fact
was
that I know
skeptical.
that you aren't lying about it that,
Yeah.
you know, makes it
This could have
Okay,
been the
sure.
new,
Authentic.
it could have been General Mills v. Stef.
dawn of
a new age.
It could have been the
Just
new
kidding, that's
Roe
dangerous.
versus Wade.
See, now a nail's good, but nail's
But
like
not
tier
really.
3. You need to get like tier 1 where you got like a finger in there. Like, you gotta get like
Yep.
meat.
or a knuckle.
I don't. I like my
And
cereal.
then
I
you
don't
say
want
you're
anything in
vegan,
it.
and it was like it
Oh.
it almost sent you over the edge to death.
There's
Yeah.
a pig nose and it's full of cinnamon
oh
Cheerios.
my gosh, where would that even? Where?
In the nostril. What?
There was an individual.
Like I'm saying, if that happened,
fall.
where would
All
this
right,
pig nose?
I think we're done.
There
with
was
It's
an
their sister
individual
company's
maggot in
topic.
each Cheerio.
Specificity mills, and they mill
Oh,
specific.
that's
Now moving on to the
These are
next
cracking.
topic.
So would it be bad for people to tweet hashtag the shock to General Mills?
No, because they were nice.
You can put hashtag the
Where did the
shock.
shock
Just
come
don't
from?
like
I don't know.
don't start an uproar with them because they were really nice, and I don't want them to get backlash for like they did what they could.
I did have a very sentimental moment on Sunday. It just hit me, and I was like, man, General Mills, like they're generally fine. In this one box, we're gonna burn their castle down, and they've been
Yeah.
giving us Cheerios and frosted
Exactly.
everything
It was
forever.
one oopsie daisy that was a
I think
rusty
they
Yeah.
went
nail.
to bounce back.
fucking
That's
oopsie
true.
daisy.
It
though.
happens though. You don't know what was happening that day. Like
It was
you never
probably
know.
there was
Like,
probably
as long
pouring
as it gets
cereal in,
fixed.
and there was just a snail like wobbling like this, and it was like whoop.
Yeah,
But I've never
I
seen
don't
nails
know.
in machinery. It must. It
Well,
had
It
to
was
be the
threaded.
roof.
nail.
It
Like
was threaded.
Oh, it was.
Yeah.
It wasn't
Threaded.
threaded.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
no, that's
But it
just
had no top
That's
on
a,
it.
this is
Halfway
a
down.
roofing nail, you guys.
Oh,
Oh, it came from the roof?
Yes, because it has those threads to hold, and then
Yeah.
it's just you can
Yeah.
drive
Weird.
it the rest of the way.
Well, also, just so everybody is informed, this cereal is in our
Thanks,
pantry
uncles.
on the third bottom tier.
It
So
didn't
there's
fall
no
in.
way in hell that
Well, it's
that nail
rusty,
fell
too.
from the ceiling into it. And we told him that on the phone because he did ask
He
where it was
trusted you.
kept. Yeah, which you have to ask because if someone's like, "Well, I keep my cereal in my garage," like,
I keep my cereal in my box of nails.
next to the
well,
buckshot.
sir, that's probably where it came from. So I don't know why I used that accent. That was offensive.
someone found a
okay.
snail in their carton of apple juice. You know, that's above that.
Maybe you should be calling.
Email
Juice
us
is
at
gross.
what's the Hubcast email?
Hubcast at thecreaturehub.com.
Oh yeah.
Hubcast
With
at
all your
thecreaturehub.com
legitimate claims.
with all of your weirdest things you've ever found in your boxes
Yeah,
stories because
yeah.
I'd love to read some of those.
That would be
Best
fun to
believe
talk
we'll
about.
read them.
Photo
Yes.
evidence
And
is also a plus.
Yes. Yeah, don't make up some bullshit, which we'll probably read it anyway. All right. So
Moving
this
on.
is actually isn't on the topics, but some big movie news dropping today. A couple
What?
big things. One, Suicide Squad
Extended
is getting
cut.
an extended cut with 13 extra minutes of Suicide Squad.
Jared Leto said there was a whole
fun.
movie worth of Joker. Not 13
Well, no,
minutes.
I was lying
But when
consistently.
you're filming, you are gonna get like he was saying he did a bunch of different takes, so like he did scenes differently.
So
I could
in
add up
that
every
sense,
take.
it's a
Thinking
feature
about it.
film.
it'd be a movie full of repeated scenes.
I could add all my flubs of me jerking off in that one short to make a whole movie.
Oh yeah. The drug test around the hub where you were just like, yeah, we could make an entire movie out of that.
Yeah.
That's what he's saying.
No, okay.
Should.
Are these
should.
like? Is this extended gonna make a difference at all? Or is it gonna be
I think
more
it'll be enjoy-
bullshit?
I want to
Because-
watch it.
Yeah, I know. I'm curious too because I wasn't on the like I hated Suicide Squad train or anything.
Sorry,
So
I was definitely on that train.
Oh,
did
I
you
like-
see it?
Yes.
You didn't like it?
No, I
Did-
thought it had so much potential, but I felt like it was like they put like 12 different editors on it. And we're like, okay, go.
Yeah.
Because there's so many different things, like you're saying with the songs. Like there was just like a bunch of different shots like thrown into a movie. Like they could have done
It was a
so
pinup
much better.
movie.
See,
it was just too much. There was so much like going on, and then like they left to go to the bar, and I was like, what? All right, so we're done.
I agree
like,
with that.
I couldn't get on board. I'm
You
sorry.
said 12 different editors?
Well-
it was actually 11.
Oh, see.
I think the movie
President.
was very aimless, but I thought it was still an enjoyable movie. I really liked
I
Batman v
couldn't.
Superman after the cut, though, and I liked it beforehand, and it just made it better.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm hoping this kind of
Well,
maybe
maybe
gives
it'll
it some
help
direction,
it.
because the motivations of a lot of stuff is strange, and
Yeah.
But I enjoyed the movie.
We'll see.
And
It's kind of worked for Lord of the Rings.
Sorry, my producer
It's
just said kick that box away.
Okay.
Why would you say such a thing?
I've kind of like.
sorry.
So Lord of the
Yeah,
Rings.
she didn't say kick me.
My bad. Go on, Daniel.
I'm not
Sorry.
okay, but I am
Sorry.
okay with that at the same time. Extended editions kind of becoming the actual version of the movie because all the Lord of the Rings movies for the
yeah,
Lord of the
I
Rings
only
trilogy,
watch extended.
the extendeds are the best versions of those movies, despite the theatrical versions being great anyway.
It is an
But
investment, though.
Those are really great, and it is an investment. But I don't like the fact that all of DC's movies are kind of retroactively being kind of like it's like, oh, you didn't like that cut? Well, here's a different cut that might be a little bit
Yeah.
better
Yeah.
to hopefully appease you. So it seems like they're trying to play both fields. There are people who liked Batman v Superman a lot and liked Suicide Squad a lot. And there's a lot of hype for Justice League, I feel, but there's so many naysayers, and I guess they're trying to just bring those people back with different cuts. Because David
Yeah.
Ayer said up and down that the theatrical cut was his cut. So this extended cut isn't like a Zack Snyder Ultimate Edition of Batman v
So whose
Superman.
cut is it then?
I don't know. It's just a cut with the deleted scenes added back in or something.
I think
They're
there's
just
just
trying to
there's just
fix it?
some times where things just don't quite come together as you'd like, maybe and when you're at that far in.
And a lot of people have have called bullshit on David Ayer and saying that's not your cut, and like they think
Well, it's
he's
possible,
just he's
you know?
towing the party
That's
line.
such a weird thing, though.
He's towing the party line. Well, he likes working, so
Yeah, and it's
he's towing the
Hollywood.
party
You never
line
know with
just
Hollywood.
to not shit on the movie before it comes out to hurt it even more.
That's
no,
true.
no one's going to throw their current employer under the bus.
Except for
Yeah.
people that are crazy.
God, the
Especially when
creatures
there's
fucking
pending
suck.
direct deposits.
Yeah, they're not making another one of those.
Oh, wait, I'm my own employer.
I will say, though, that movie, I really liked it in the state it is in, but you could tell it was cut. There's a lot of stuff missing.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I
No
enjoyed it as
shit.
well. But I enjoyed it for what it was and not measuring it to any expectation I had. Because if I were to measure it... See, I have a really... I really want to go in liking those DC movies. I guess I give them a
Yeah.
lot of credit.
Well, almost you want to
but
like
Batman
it
v
just
Superman was
because people don't like it. Not you specifically,
Yeah.
but like I go in because
No, I
like
get people-
I
yeah.
hear all the hate. I'm like, I want this to be a really good movie because
Yeah.
I don't want people to shit on
Well, they're
everything.
supposed
but
to be fun and enjoyable.
Yeah.
You know,
That's
like
what
those are
Suicide
those
Squad
movies
is.
are
Suicide Squad
for.
was more
That's why I
enjoyable.
let it go.
I left feeling like I had fun and it was enjoyable. I laughed and I thought the
Sorry.
portrayal, a lot of the characters were really good, and it was just kind of the overarching everything and the way it was brought together doesn't really pan
I think
out.
the big
but-
problem on top of that is that with the whole superhero fatigue thing, like while Marvel's still making good movies, I think Suicide Squad is making superhero movies still. But I think on top of the fact, like they made another movie with faceless villains, and they made another movie that was kind of aimless, and they made a couple things that were strikes in superhero books. But the thing is, Marvel's making solid movies, so they don't get
Yeah.
hit for it as much. Whereas the second Suicide Squad came out, like it was hit a lot stronger because it wasn't as good of an overall movie. But I think superhero wise, it was fine.
Yeah.
It's
Marvel's
mo-
doing a really great job at tackling genres.
Yes.
One of the reasons why Captain America is doing so well and is so interesting is because those are political thrillers. And, like, Winter Soldier was more of a... I don't know. Because they were touting like a lot of they were kind of going the Jack Ryan vein, which is a Tom Clancy series, and that very much felt like Jack Ryan, and I can't what specific Manchurian Candidate and stuff like that for Civil War, and I think Civil War really works really well as a political thriller too, with the UN and all that stuff and the Sokovia Accords, and Ant-Man's a heist movie,
Yeah.
and like
I
you know,
love Ant-Man.
and Doctor Strange is kind of like a psychedelic, psychological.
I can't wait
Thriller.
for that.
You know,
Yeah.
that's
I'm so
going to
confused
be
on what that is,
fucking
though.
nuts.
Doctor
Well, I
Strange.
like that they're doing
So cool, I
that.
don't-
It makes
I
it
don't
like
get it.
almost.
Maybe it's too
he's like-
complex for me, but
What I got from it, he's like a materialist, kind of jaded by existence, and then he meets some kind of
He
Zenyatta
loses.
character.
He's kind of already
And then they
bored
get old.
neurosurgeon who loses the use of his hands in a car accident,
Oh.
and so he's searching for any sort of method to help kind of
Heal his
regain
hands.
but he's
control.
like a nihilist at the time, and he's
okay.
just like, fuck. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
And his
it
mind
looks
gets
fucking
expanded.
awesome. I just
Yeah.
I like didn't get I couldn't wrap my brain around everything right away.
Yeah.
You
It
know
don't
what I
make
mean?
sense.
Like,
They'll go over
I-
it in the
I'll
story.
watch
Yeah,
anything. That
and again,
Benedict
yeah, you
does.
won't understand like all these Marvel movies unless you're reading everything that's being put out there about these characters. Is like you don't know anything until you go in unless
So
you've
will
read
he
previously.
join like Captain America then later in life?
He's going to be in the Avengers because his.
That's so cool.
A lot of people are speculating right now, but his the pin he has on his cape
Yeah,
is
he-
one of the Infinity Stones.
It is a necklace that is
Oh.
well the
That's
the
so
last
cool.
Infinity Stone. Well, there's two more, but this one they have one that's based around time, and
which
some
people are
are
speculating,
speculating which is his necklace one
yeah,
because it
it's
can
the eye
deal
of
with.
something.
See, I never would have known any of this. Thank you, you
Yeah,
guys.
but hopefully they explain it in the movie.
Yeah.
So it's like usually
Yeah,
I go into
hope.
these movies knowing a little bit about what's going to happen, or at least just little story elements, and then sometimes it's not even brought up in the film. But
I say, don't they cut out
Yeah.
like with Thor when he went and did that quest or whatever in one
Yeah.
of the movies? They cut out like a ton of his time.
Well, Avengers
so it didn't
2,
really
I
make
think
too much
that,
sense when he was in
that
the
was
water.
kind of the same thing as
Yeah,
Suicide
there's
Squad, where
more
they
to
cut
it.
out a lot of stuff that
Yeah.
was the movie was so big that Joss Whedon filmed that they ended up cutting certain stuff, and then like Thor usually gets shafted in Avengers
Yeah.
films, and
Yeah.
he just ended up.
Loki was supposed to be in that flashback, but they took the Loki scene out because they felt it would confuse the audience because it's like, oh, Loki's behind everything, as opposed to
Oh,
Ultron,
okay,
or
that
like
makes
Loki's
sense.
controlling Ultron. They don't want the general audience to be confused by that stuff. And that's what I was kind of thinking with the Suicide Squad and Batman extended editions. A lot of people have been pleading for Marvel to put out extended editions,
Yeah.
and DC's just doing it right off the bat. So that's kind of a kind of cool
I think
aspect.
extended editions are good, but I don't think it should be a cover for the movie.
Yes.
Agreed.
Because I love extended editions. I
Yeah.
think like Lord of the Rings especially is like my number one
Holy crap,
thing for
those
that. Like
are
I'd love to
awesome.
see Star Wars extended stuff because I know there's just a few scenes that they didn't quite fully flesh out in The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
But
Mm-hmm.
I like extended editions. But again, yeah,
Yeah,
it shouldn't
it's
cover
well,
for the movie.
the Marvel movies are already feel complete. The DC movies so far have felt like there has been stuff cut out of them,
Yeah,
which I
Agreed.
guess they're restoring in the extended
they
edition.
kind of feel like
I
TV
get it.
shows a little bit.
Do it into the mic. It's got a pop filter.
What's happening? Another superhero movie related thing was the title for the third Wolverine movie, solo Wolverine movie, and the final
What?
Wolverine performance of Hugh Jackson.
Until
I
the
was
next
gonna say
one.
Hugh
Huge action.
I was going to say Hugh Jackman, but then I was like, wait, no, I call him Hugh Jackson. Hugh Jackson,
Jackson.
it's going to be called Logan.
With a little kid
Really?
holding
Yeah, it's called
his
Logan.
hand.
Really?
You had a
Wait, for
mouthful
real
of
though?
water.
Yeah, it's called
Or
Logan.
drink.
That's his name.
It's called
Cool.
Logan. Yeah, his name. Yeah,
for
Logan.
some reason, I was thinking of Scott, so I was like, why?
Scott.
Yeah, Scott. So it's
Never
called
mind.
Logan. It is to feature the old man Logan storyline. That's kind of been out there for a bit.
Yeah. Okay. And it
and
makes
as well
sense.
as I guess some younger man Logan stuff.
Old
But
man
the James Mangold, the
on,
director, also
life.
tweeted out the second page of the screenplay, and it's like it starts off. It says Logan continued. Fuck. Because right after Deadpool came out, they announced that it was going to be a rated R edition. Like
Yeah.
they're going to go full Wolverine with it, and there's going to be blood and
Yeah.
swearing, and
That'd be awesome.
which is the Wolverine a lot of people have wanted. And I felt like
Yeah.
the Wolverine. Have you guys seen the Wolverine? The second one.
Is that the one with weird
Japan?
Deadpool? Oh.
I've seen bits and pieces of
think I have.
Wolverine, and then
I loved
what's
it
the one
until
that
the end.
sucked?
Well, X-Men.
Well,
X-Men
X-Men
Where he, like,
Origins
shows up,
Wolverine.
is that when he shows up in the bar and he's like naked, and those old people are like, "We'll help you."
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
I
I
don't
saw
think
that
I've
one
seen.
too.
There's another one called Wolverine.
Yeah, he's in
There's,
Japan.
yeah, there's X-Men
Yes.
Origins
I don't
Wolverine,
think I've seen that.
the Wolverine, and this one's just called Logan.
Well, and
Can
I
I just
loved
stop
the
making
Wolverine
so many?
tone-wise and location-wise was fantastic until the very end of the fucking movie.
Yeah, it kind of
Whoa,
falls apart.
You sound pretty salty. about
It was
that.
so good. Like the beginning of it was like, this is like really, really cool. And then they kind of show his final like test in the
Yeah.
movie, and it's like, oh.
meh.
Yeah.
There's also
that
some
makes sense.
inconsistencies that they don't address before moving into Days of Future
Like
Past.
they cut his claws off.
They cut his claws off, and he grows back his bone claws,
Oh,
so he
yeah.
doesn't have his adamantium claws anymore.
Oh, I remember that.
And,
Okay.
I remember, yeah, I
and
do.
then in Days of Future Past,
He just has them
he
back.
has his
Okay.
Which they could have
adamantium
done in
claws
like
back.
one scene of Magneto being like, I can blah, 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 blah.
Well, you figure it's like 20 years in the future anyway, and they all look
Yeah.
amazing for 20 years in the
I was
future.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
always curious how, because I like the adamantium was like that he was like in the tank and they injected him with
Yeah.
everything. Did they carve his knives before they did that, or did they
That's a
adamantium?
good question.
That's
No,
just a
there's
comic
just-
book. They're knives now.
And who did they get to do that?
They're
Because who's going to
knives
go
now.
approach a
They should've
sleeping
just been
Wolverine?
pokers.
They're knives now.
Yeah, yeah.
Snicked.
They're
That's a
perfectly
good-
polished, the sharpest
Oh yeah.
things in the
Yeah.
Well,
universe.
see, and the thing is, his bone claws had properties pretty much of adamantium. Like they were just as strong.
So they could break.
They would break, but like they could scratch into concrete no problem, and like it just seemed like he was fine beforehand.
yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it would hurt a lot more.
I would say it hurts
Yeah.
when they come out, right?
Yeah, but even
They're
still,
like,
like,
they're like
"Ow!"
spiral like,
Every time.
Spiral.
wouldn't
I feel like they would hurt
I would
more
never do it.
Yeah.
I'd have
But
to
he
like
heals,
brace
so-
myself for like 5 minutes, like or get really drunk and be like, okay, I'm gonna do it.
Oh, okay.
It's good. Okay, we're
That
good.
would be a funny alternate film if he just becomes a cokehead because he wants his powers, but he can't cope with the pain, so he
He
just
does lines off of one of his things. That's just strong.
it comes out and it's already preloaded.
I have cocaine in my veins.
That'd be crazy. If you
Time to
could just,
fight.
Like,
Well, anyway, Logan is coming out. I think next year. They've finished filming it already, and
I'm
Patrick
excited for that
Stewart's in
one.
it. He's playing Xavier again. I think this is last. Patrick Stewart has said this is probably the last time he's playing Xavier, which isn't that surprising
No.
because
Yeah.
they've
He's
already
died
kinda-
twice.
They've done their runs. He's only died once in those.
He died in Days of Future Past too.
Well,
Been
everybody
right,
died
yeah.
in Days of Future Past,
shit
but
is so hairy.
timeline stuff. So yeah, so I don't know. Kind of excited for that.
I'm
Who knows?
excited.
It'll be interesting. I will go see it.
Spencer, I hear you have a salty Spencer for us this week.
I do.
Are you ready to prepare your salty Spencers?
Yeah, I think this is one that people aren't really going to see because I think
They're
I
gonna
don't
see
know.
it?
I
I
mean, like
not gonna see
we're
it?
gonna
I'm gonna
we're
see it
not gonna
coming.
agree with you.
Can I give you
Is that
an
what you
true
outro?
mean
thing.
when
Yep.
you say see?
Ba-da-ba-doo-ba-ba. Salty Spencer. Ba-da-doo-ba-ba.
I'm so fucking salty! He's
pissed.
So, anyways, for Salty Spencer today, not last week, a few weeks ago, I talked about Red Robin. That was a little more controversial. This week, I feel like it's something people can agree with, unless you're one of these people.
Oh boy.
And I'm talking about The Wave. Now, people might not
Wave.
know what The Wave is,
Oh,
but
wait,
it's
is
something.
this like a Seinfeld
I don't think
thing?
I
No.
know what the wave is.
It's something I encounter on a daily
If
basis
it's something
from.
new and scary,
this
I
for the
don't like
car?
it.
Yeah, I was
It's
gonna say,
just-
is this like it with Seinfeld with the car when you wave when you?
Maybe he might explain it when he's talking.
I might explain it.
Go ahead. Sorry, I was making a reference. Sorry, go ahead.
So this is always from idiots on the road, and it's always at four-way stops, or even sometimes at lights. When anyways. So it's when you're driving, you're going what?
I was.
Oh, you're waving at me.
I'm anticipating the
He's
wave.
doing the wave.
We're
Joe just
feeling
kept
off
doing
your
this.
heat right now.
And I thought
You
he
can
was trying to
feel
get his
the fumes.
attention, and then Spencer wasn't paying attention. I was like, when is this going to connect here?
So you're driving, you're at a stop sign, you get there second, third, fourth, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
The person across from you got there first, obviously, and they give you the, here you go, no, come on through, come on. And you're like, no, you can go. You were here first. It's always someone who's like above 50, old, and they're always, they think they're being so fucking nice.
I've done this, by the way. I've done that before.
But
You bend the waiver?
they think they're being nice, like you get to go first. But the thing is, if they had gone anyways, you both could have gotten through faster. There's
That's
no,
true.
because if you go like this, then it takes time for them to be like, are they
And
waving
then
at me?
Then somebody else might pull up.
Yeah, and then they
And they might be an
be
opportunist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
And they're
yeah.
like, phew, and they go.
exactly.
And
And
then
then
they get
you're sitting there and you're like,
confused.
okay,
White
I
lady
guess I'll
Escalade.
go. And then they
You don't know
go
what
because
they're
they
gonna
finally
do.
gave up. And then you're like, wait,
Or
should I not
if
go?
you refuse
Oh,
the
yeah.
wave.
Yes.
There's been times where I've refused the wave, but then they keep waving, and you're like, but no, I just refuse the wave.
And this is it. The whole point
both like-
of laws
It's
on
like-
the street,
just waving
there's
and
street
someone comes
signs,
up, they're like, what the fuck
there's
is happening?
laws, is to obey them, and it keeps the road moving.
Yeah.
A lot of people, there's a lot of whatever that are broken, but this is one that it's just like, if you get to the stop sign first, you go, and then the second person goes. By
Yeah.
the time all is said and done with the wave and the figuring out who's going, it's already been like 4 cars worth of time.
Yeah.
And other cars may have pulled up. There's so much going on. And it's
Right.
like, why are you waving at me? I don't want you to get your little pride boner from letting me go first.
Especially when you're late
You're holding
going
up
somewhere and
traffic.
you're like,
Yeah.
okay, go.
It's
Well,
like-
you said it was mainly old people. What if they're just trying to save you some time because they know you're young and hip and in the groove?
I don't know,
And
maybe they need to
know
go
you're
somewhere
in a
before they
hurry.
die.
They're
He's
not
got
in
a
a
beer
hurry. They're
date to
old.
get
They've
to.
already
Go
been
ahead.
down
Get
this
outta
road,
here.
Spencer. This is your first time.
I guess.
Drive
Well, no,
safe.
I drive these streets. I'm not some
I
16-year-old
drive these
newbie on the
streets.
road. I may look like I'm 13, but I'm not.
The salt,
And
Spencer.
it's so
I'm just
infuriating. Why would you waste people's time and give yourself a little pat? Oh, let me give myself a little pat on the back so let that kid go
That's true.
first.
Well, a lot of time people could be texting too, so they're like, "Oh, you go ahead," like because they're finishing
Well,
up
that's what I
something.
What? You
Yeah.
see somebody do that? Stop! I'm at a stop sign. Text.
I
Well,
Oh,
you
keep
don't
you're
know,
good.
it. You basic.
I feel like people would do
when
that.
I drive, when I'm driving, and well, I try to keep
Yeah.
extracurricular activities to a minimum, including waving.
Right. Well, most people should, but could you imagine like a teenager like finishing a text and they see that
I
you
would
came up
T-bone
and
them
you're
on
like, "Oh,
purpose.
okay, go ahead."
Well, you've driven
know?
in the
That's
car
what
with
you
Jordan.
get.
Jordan
Bad.
texts
Jordan's
and
so
drives,
bad at
and
that.
he shouldn't. But he's like,
No comment.
Again, he's going Mach 5.
Yeah, Jordan,
Paddle shifting.
He's
Going,
really
hang on one
amazed.
second.
He's like, I need these
Jordan's
paddle shifters to
track
go
record.
faster. He's like,
I know.
Now that
Driving
he's
that
here,
car
we can
set.
shit all over him.
I
It
know.
doesn't matter.
we do
but-
when he's here
He
too.
always like
That is
hits
true.
the gas, so like your neck kind of goes like this. So you're
But
like,
the thing is
go up
like,
to the light and it's like,
it's just amazing for me to be in a world where that can happen.
Yeah.
And then I drive like 10 feet farther, and then a guy pulls around me on the right really dangerously and then threads right in front of me to get 2 seconds ahead of me. And
Yeah.
I'm like, where are you going that we need to be 2 seconds faster?
Yeah.
And then that old lady's still at the stop sign waving people through. I don't, it's just, I don't
What
know.
if she's just a
that
traffic
frustrates me.
cop, but
Yeah.
it's cold
She's
out,
in
and
a
she's
car?
just sitting in her car with
yeah.
her
There's a
I
lot
hate
pumpkin
when people
worse
say
things
that.
going
If
on
you need to
then.
park, go somewhere else.
Did any of you guys think when this topic began that Spencer was talking about the wave at like a sports game?
Oh, I love the
first.
wave. The wave's fine. It's
Have
drunk
you ever
people.
waved?
Can we start one? Starting with Joe.
That
Can
was
we-
really
can we start
pathetic.
with Joe?
Okay, I have to move my mic.
I'm gonna try and do
fucking
it
hit
camera
Okay.
to camera.
He just
You go.
killed it though. Okay. He's gonna do the camera down the
Super
line.
enthusiastically.
Ready?
Like, love
Yeah.
this. Yeah. Now send it back. Send it
Oh,
back.
we need a Sam
And
cam.
Sam finished it, but
Sam,
you
send
can't
it
see him.
back. Okay, there we go.
We could be that podcast with
All right,
37
let's
cameras.
do it with the wide now.
What? Why are we taking time to do this? People can't even hear this.
This is
hey,
a
we're
topic.
racing our
Just
All right, fantastic.
That
You know,
was
yeah.
so good.
Spencer, something that makes me salty on the road, and there could be a billion salty Spencer
There
topics
could be.
about
There's
this.
so
yeah.
many.
When you get two people in a 2-lane road that are going the exact goddamn speed down the road,
Yep.
and typically below the speed
Oh,
limit,
yeah.
they're going like 38 and a 40, and they're both just going.
It's because the guy was
So
behind them
nobody
going
can
like
pass anybody.
Well, the
Yeah.
person in front's going 38, and the person behind was going 39. They're like, so they go around and they're still going that speed. So it's just like,
And then you have 2
They're
lanes of
just slowly,
tailgaters that like
slowly
4 or 5
going.
cars
Yeah.
that just build up behind everybody.
yep.
And like a cross rocket that's
It's
just
the
pissed
worst.
off.
Oh,
Just,
yeah.
Like weaving and
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
revving.
Yeah,
And
Anyway.
But that was my salty Spence for this week. I thought it was
awesome.
pretty agreeable.
No, it was. I thought
Yeah.
you were talking about so on Seinfeld, the wave when you change lanes, you kind of like when someone slows
that's
down
also-
for you, you wave to them like as
That's
a thank
very
you.
important, too, 'cause-
That's what I
wave.
thought you were bringing.
I think I've gotten one wave in the last 4 years.
Wow.
Really?
I
That's
live on
sad.
everything, but like every single time someone lets one in, it's just like
Joe got a courtesy
I
wave the other day
always
when I was
wave,
riding around
no
with him.
matter what,
That was like 2
yeah.
days ago.
Mine have reduced from a wave out the window to like zombie fingers out of the crack that I pulled down. Just
I go
to
up. I go up like this.
and not get hit on 470.
Wait, can I tell a quick driving story? Do we have time, or are we like not in time?
Very quick.
Okay. Well, okay. So no, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Just
All right.
continue on.
Okay,
Now you have to say it.
Well, it's not.
No,
that
she
good
could
of
save
a-
it for another time.
Yeah, I can. It was just relatable.
PlayStation
so.
VR is coming out on the 13th.
Yes.
With Batman.
Yes.
PSVR is
With
upon
Batman.
us.
With Batman, and it's supposed to be like 50 launch titles.
Oh, that's
Oh, it's
pretty
way
good.
more than that.
Way more?
Yeah.
Well, they
Ooh,
initially announced
damn.
50 launch titles that I remember from the thingy.
That's impressive.
But yeah, Arkham VR. Isn't Resident Evil one of the launch titles?
No, I think Resident Evil is coming out in January, but you can play that demo, which has been updated
There's a
For
lot.
VR?
on VR.
Is
Yeah.
it just gonna
okay.
be like PT?
I hope so.
Yeah, well, I mean, the demo is like PT, so
Oh,
it's,
cool.
it's like a more complicated PT. Like PT, you play through and you have to discover certain things, but for that, it can end and you won't like even know that there was other things. Like there's a shit ton of really.
What was
like-
the actual name of PT supposed to be?
What do you mean, Silent Hills?
Silent Hills. Thank you.
Silent Hills, yeah, it was just called Play
I like
Test
PT
Demo
better.
or whatever.
Sounds cool.
Yeah,
Playable teaser.
playable teaser. That's what it was, not play test.
No, I meant for Silent Hills though. I was thinking of like what the game was supposed to be.
Yeah. So the PlayStation VR is coming out very soon. I hope. I don't know if we're getting one immediately, but I definitely want to do Arkham VR,
VR
whenever that
Wednesday.
comes out. Yeah, for VR
That'd be
Wednesday.
cool.
That'd
How
be
much
really-
are they?
$500. $400? Which is the cheapest VR,
Yeah.
currently.
Do they have controllers?
Yep.
Oh, the PlayStation Move.
They use the Move controllers, which I have Move controllers. So,
Nice.
I wasted my money on Move years and years and years ago. Haven't touched them since. They've been sitting in a closet for about 5 years, but I'll finally be able to break them out.
Interesting.
Although if we're
Hey.
just getting the VR set, then it'll probably come with the Move things. But I played a little bit of it. And you guys probably haven't done it. But at
Done what?
E3, I did a demo for.
Oh, this has the Battlefront thing with it.
Does it?
Yeah, that has Star Wars Battlefront VR experience where you're in an X-wing.
That sounds
That was
awesome.
exclusive to PlayStation. I'm like, I'm not gonna be able to play it, but if we get it, that'd be cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of different Star Wars VR projects being developed. David Goyer's working on a Darth Vader one right now, and
Do you get to be Darth Vader?
either you are Darth Vader or you're interacting with Darth Vader.
I
one
was
of the
supposed
two.
to go to
Like on a
Toshi
date?
Station to pick up some power converters.
Ah,
I'm Luke.
There was sand in them. My father hates sand.
I don't want to be C-3PO.
And then this has
that
nothing to do
what
with
he does?
PlayStation VR.
I don't know a
but
lot about
my.
Star Wars. Oh my!
His
Inaratu-
beard is great.
What's his name? Inaratu.
Gold armor.
Alejandro Gonzalez Iñárritu.
Oh yeah, for some reason I was thinking that was his first name. Alejandro Inarritu, the director of The Revenant and Birdman, he's working on a short film in VR.
Oh yeah.
With the director of photography from his films and stuff like that. So that should be very interesting. I don't know how a director of photography really comes into play, although Alex and I were talking about this the other day. Because I was
It'll
like, what
come.
do you need a director of photography or a cinematographer for VR specifically? And Alex brought up the great point of you need lighting. Like that's a big part of their job is lighting and stuff like that.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Wait, go.
I was gonna say after playing Rec Room, that went up today, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Rec Room is awesome, and it was very
In the Vive VR.
yes, yeah. And I was like, I just got flooded with ideas for that as far as
Oh,
like,
yeah.
what could happen. You know, experiencing like scripted events like that or like cinematic
Oh, yeah.
events
Well,
like
that's
with
the
other
first
people.
social game we've ever played on VR, which is kind of impressive. I don't know why we haven't seen that yet,
It was-
but
It was
Yeah,
so
it-
interesting. Like
it
when
was pretty amazing because I
Yeah.
told because Joe wasn't in that recording and I was like, Joe, you have to check this out because like just interacting with other people in a VR space and knowing they have the exact same setup. Like most people
That's
are
crazy.
walking around going, "Oh, this is so cool!
Yeah.
Oh yeah, how do I do this?" And like it's somebody's friend who's like playing on their VR setup
Yep.
or whatever, and it's fun interacting with.
well,
people.
and before the
So
kid
cool.
bitched me out, he actually helped me learn some things for that game.
yeah,
I bet
He
he
told me how to use the camera.
He plays a lot,
nice.
you know, like a kid
That
like
Romeo.
that.
he
who's
was
at home
there,
like
he's
that.
like the little mascot.
that Romeo kid was there when Joe and I were playing. He was like, "Why do you want to come join me in the loft?"
He said it like that again.
The loft?
Can he not
And
Over and
more
over.
people were making fun of him because there were
See,
other
that's
people in
why
there
he's
like,
mean, 'cause people are
I don't want to go up to the
bullies.
loft.
Well, he
or
called me
to-
a white N-word.
Well, what did you call him first?
I called him a little bitch.
There you
yeah,
go.
so we weren't sure how because the we weren't sure if they could hear us at all.
Yeah.
Because we had no microphone set up, but I guess the Vive has a microphone on it.
Oh, okay.
And so Spencer was like, "This little asshole keeps talking to me and like stuff like that." And he's like,
"Hey,
you little bitch!" And then he goes under, like hides under a table. So you can't get me under heel.
Oh
And
no,
he's
he was poking the bear when he was talking.
Oh, kids do that. You just have to learn to.
Where did he learn those words?
Mom
from
and
YouTube.
Dad,
No, from
brother,
YouTube
sister.
is where he learned those
YouTube,
words.
Hey,
Yeah.
with great power
But-
comes great responsibility.
Yeah, it does.
That brings me to my next sentence.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait,
Yeah,
the
you
shock. The
Yes.
shock.
You didn't tell me about the multiplayer aspect of it. So like, I thought it was just another VR game, and so you're like, yeah, people are in there, and they can hear you, and the microphone's good, and everything.
yeah.
And I got like nervous for a second because like, and then I put it on, and I saw people, and I was like, I immediately went to the disc golf course by myself just to get away from everybody.
Oh,
Oh,
geez.
because you don't have to interact.
I was
Yeah.
telling him, I was like, "Oh, you should go back to that room," and he seemed very intent on just
Yeah, I was like,
exploring this
"No,
other
I'm
stuff.
good."
And I was like, "No, because I can see people being nervous, but at the same time, it's just." You're
I think it's because
talking
you're
to
in a
other people.
3D tangible world where people can do things to you. So I
Yeah.
made out with
Yeah.
Alex and jerked him off.
He actually, I played disc golf with him. He's doing great.
The guy who jerked me off.
He was the guy that was like, he'd
Was that
be
the
like,
floaty guy?
That's the
yeah,
same guy.
he'd be dancing, and then
Oh,
he'd be
shit.
like.
Yep.
Oh, were you
Weird.
watching Mel edit and then you
I
realized
did. I was
this,
like, "That's
or-
the dude." And I think so. The guy called him Sam, and he looks like one of my good friends, Sam.
Oh,
and I was like,
weird.
"Is that the Sam?"
Because that was the guy
Like-
who had two
Was it
different
though?
Vive setups
Yeah,
in
in
his
one
house.
spot.
And he was like, "Oh yeah, my friend Sam is in the other room playing too," and so he was waiting for him to connect.
That's crazy.
So
That
I
has
made
two
out with
spots.
someone that you may know.
And it could have been my
That
ex
you
roommate.
met- he met.
I
I
got
lived
jerked
with
off
that
by
guy.
someone you met.
That I lived with for 2 years.
What?
Wow.
But I don't know if it's him. But his
Yeah.
name is
Can you
Sam, and it
just
looked
text
just
him and
like him.
ask?
I could.
The
You should.
VR character looked like him.
Yeah,
Joe, did
I
you
didn't
know
hear any
that-
voices. I would have heard him. He's pretty.
Yeah, well, no, you were because
Voice vocal
you were
guy.
playing disc golf with those two guys on VR for a bit.
Yeah, but the guy was lagging. So like the whole time I was playing with them, they were trying to troubleshoot his lag.
Oh yeah,
So
'Cause
he would
yeah.
like get like 5 seconds of I'm in, and then he would like float away again, and then
Yeah, his body,
And his friend
his hands would just start going like this, and
his
then the
body
body would
would-
like float upward.
buoyancy.
towards
Oh
the sky.
God.
This
it
is
was
Rec
so
Room?
funny because he would be like smiling like this and be like,
What the fuck?
That
Okay,
happens
I
in
gotta
VR
see
though
this.
when
That's
you pick up
weird.
the controller and then all of a
Oh,
sudden
it'll start
just, like,
flying away.
"Oh yeah,
You're like,
Come back!
Well, for a Vive game that is free, I think that's
It's
one of the best
awesome.
ones
Yeah.
we've played,
Oh,
and
for
it's
sure.
the most
Super cool.
like.
Well, it sounds like
I met
there's
a
a lot
fan
you
on
can
there.
do on it. It's
Yeah.
not just
I
like
met a
one
fan.
thing.
Oh, you did? Nice.
Yeah, they were like,
Oh.
Geralt to Meowie, are you Jordan from the Creatures? And I was just here at like 9 o'clock one of the nights, like after work, and I was like, oh no, I'm just in our VR setup. This is Dan. He was like, wait, what? Because he wasn't even sure if it
awesome.
was Jordan to begin with,
Yeah.
so he got really surprised,
That's
and
awesome.
we ended up hanging out a bit.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's
But-
really fun.
that's
Yeah,
why I
that's
like
super
the
neat.
possibilities there.
Yeah.
next time you play, I don't know if you know this, but if you put your hand over your mouth,
I
then
did
it
show
mutes
him.
you.
Okay, yeah, or like the controller.
Yeah,
Oh.
you can do this and it'll mute you.
It's interesting to think of the fear though behind like being in that world with him because I didn't even think about that, but
I think it was a very Matrix moment for me.
Yeah.
It was sort of like
Whoa.
this because my the way I view VR is like I've said this before, like where VR as it is now is like the first Atari that came out and how
Right.
it was the coolest shit anyone had ever seen, and then now look at where games have come
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
So it's like, where's VR gonna go? So it's cool to be like those little, because of consoles and PCs, like we kind of create the same game experiences over and over again, and we kind
Right.
of innovate a little bit here or there, but for the most part, it's the same. But like to be in this new realm where it had been concept forever for like
Yeah.
And it's
decades,
finally here,
and now,
so you're just like, whoa.
yeah, and then it's like, oh shit, like I got to keep up with,
Yeah.
something that I've had the loftiness of be able just to postulate about.
Yeah.
And not be here, but now that it's here, and like to see that happening already is like awesome.
It's
The applications
overwhelming.
are endless. They were like, when I was, because I ended up playing for a couple hours just by myself, and there was this little girl who was super nervous to be in this space, and she was up in the loft, and I just grabbed a waist bin, and she had some like of the little basketballs, and I was just holding it, and she was just throwing, and she ended up getting like super excited to play, just like
Aw.
me holding the basket
That's
and
awesome.
her shooting the balls in and tossing them back. Like it was just such a cool,
Yeah.
simple interaction, and it was really fun and fulfilling, and it's
Yeah.
probably my favorite game that we've done for VR yet.
Yeah.
Well, for a lot of people who might have like anxiety with meeting people in person stuff, that could be a great tool
It's perfect.
to
You don't have to leave your
learn
house,
how to,
but you're still in
And you can take
learn,
the mask off.
Yeah, and it takes the edge off of like reality because you can only like you're kind of in that little container of I can only do so much. Like
Yeah.
I can only perform so well in this space because it's
Yeah.
very.
And this is the first generation of developing introverts. Like this is like it's literally like there is an option to be a productive member of society but still be an introvert.
Right.
So it's an interesting
yeah.
time we live
Yes.
in.
Well,
VR
it's
is
interesting
becoming
to
a
think of-
Go do a
standard.
dating thing.
Yeah.
You know what
That'd
I
be
mean? Like if
interesting
you
to do.
they did a
like-
blind date thing, so you can go and meet, and you can meet people and
Blind date VR, and
Yeah.
you sit down at a dinner table and you
exactly
have little
like
activities you
you
can
could
play
have
or
like a
whatever.
Yeah.
virtual bar and go into this bar and like have
All right,
tables
patent
and
pending,
stuff.
patent pending.
Is it kind? I'm not.
Yeah, no, as
No
well.
one take that. I'm doing it.
I don't want to shit on anyone, but isn't it kind of sad that we have to create a virtual world to have a blind date in?
Yes.
It's sad, but
But
that's
no,
reality.
it's cool for people who
Yeah.
actually need it. But it's kind of interesting that we've
Yeah.
gotten
Yeah.
to a point in our world where we have to replicate what is actually real to make it easier.
Yeah. No, I know.
I think
I
the
see
people-
exactly what you're saying.
People-
No,
That's
but
true.
if it helps people, I think that's fantastic.
Yeah,
yeah,
but
it's
I
a-
get
I
We
think
live in
like
very
my
strange
anxiety extends from like this is like the one record that everybody talks about and you're always on it. So that can be socially crippling. But to go into a game and again like and just have that kind of solace of again like I can only perform so well and people's normal expectations of me in this space are 95% smaller
Yeah.
than out at the Safeway or whatever, you know. So it's like yeah, I think that's awesome. And like even me, like I'm pretty outgoing, but at the same time, I still have anxiety and shit. And
Yeah.
it flared up there, and I was like, oh God, what do I do?
Yeah.
But then that guy followed me into the disc golf course, and I was like, it's creepy, but he can't really touch me at the moment. We'll see 10 years from now. There's
can't.
gonna
Yeah.
be full
There'll
body.
be,
Yeah.
there'll be
Right.
little VR robots that you buy that'll be the physical representations of other people.
It'll be
Lord
like
almighty.
when you're at conventions, like when we're playing the zombie game, and they like rattle the wheelchair you're in.
Oh, that was so
I
fucking
wish I had
cool.
done that.
I loved
I was
that.
at the hotel editing Road to E3 shit.
Oh yeah, that
that's
was
right.
a
I'm
tough
sorry.
E3.
Yeah, man, I was so glad. Like this E3, we only went for one day, but like I was so glad I didn't have to work over E3. I was
Yeah.
actually able to check out what I wanted to because
Yeah.
it was really tough getting those videos.
Well,
up.
it was exhausting.
You and I were
Yeah.
just like we were hardly
just
sleeping,
have a
and
round
we
of
were
applause
at
respect
the
for
hotel
these
when
two.
people were doing.
I remember
Seriously.
when
I was
we-
just trying to drum up sympathy for Spencer and I because we lead a hard life. We couldn't check out video games while we're editing
Yeah,
for
but
our
still,
job,
we
where we
were
just did
like-
an awesome road trip across America.
Yeah, but still was you want to be experiencing things with people. You don't want to
Exactly.
be bugged
Oh
up
yeah.
in a room
Well, everybody
editing.
talks
so
about
it
how
sucked.
awesome that demo was, and I didn't get to do it at all.
know.
I
I'm
just
sorry.
remember we were at a hotel in Las Vegas, and I sat in this little like circular thing, and I remember looking up as everyone was walking away, going to Buca de Beppo, and going like,
And
then going back to editing.
So bad.
I was like-
it was really
it was
sad.
worth it. I mean, I don't really care too much, but it was kind of one of those
But
moments
it's
where it was
still
like,
shitty. Yeah. And then there was that huge group of well, never mind.
Show
yeah.
answers.
It was just crazy. Yeah.
there
Good
was a
times.
convention for Asian
That's not
people.
who-
We were there,
Ooh.
and so about like
I didn't want
it
to
was
say
like
but
it was like 300 people walked through that were Asian.
it was just
and
like
it was just kind of like-
a herd, and we were just like, what is happening?
Sounds like
Like
my kind of
attractive
scene.
Asians.
It was.
Oh, there was definitely some in there. It was a pretty. It was like
I remember
if
that
you
little
saw
circular
400 like white people walk through. Yeah,
That's
actually, no, it was
sample.
probably better than that.
I mean, it was
will
Asian,
ju-
so it was
I will
definitely
just
better than
say,
white people.
Going back to Rec Room, earlier today I was talking about Facebook buying Oculus like 2 years ago or whatever,
Oh yeah.
and being like, why would they do that? But after playing Rec Room, it totally makes sense that that's like the future of social networking, don't you think?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
know,
kind of
it
like
is.
what we
I
just
got
talked
ex-
about.
Yeah.
I got excited about online connectivity for like the first time in a long time.
Hell yeah.
Because it wasn't like the same old like
Chatting or
just
something like that.
grind. I don't.
Yeah.
It's become this grind, and I can't enjoy it. And like, but other people do, and I'm like, I don't know what you see in it. But that was like, it's cool because we can do activities together. Like, especially like, oh man, I can't wait. Like, I would love a rec room, like one of the graffiti games, and have 8 people in a room. Just, you could
Yeah.
just dick around, or you can do like a really awesome.
You know what kinda
graffiti
reminded me of?
piece. What's that?
It reminded me of like the first days of playing Xbox Live and Halo 2,
Yeah.
and just being like having that first experience. Where you're like, holy shit, these are other people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a
Or
new
Call of
platform. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like it's just a new platform to experience on. And that was a feeling I haven't had in a long time because
Yeah.
gaming has kind of come to a standstill. And we're on what Infinity War now.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like
We have
it's
two
interesting to see
Xboxes.
something.
Call of Duty.
What's
cool
the
to see something
Xbox
fresh
and the
and
Slim?
Not even.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I still like what gaming is nowadays. It's just it was kind of like refreshing a wake up call to play VR every week and to
The
especially play
novelty was
Rec Room.
back.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
we have a different experience because a lot of people play a lot of online multiplayer shooters and communicate. Like I used to go home from work and then play Call of Duty, and I'd have my headset plugged in, and I would talk to people, and there'd be a lot of communication. I don't know if that's really a thing that because whenever I've played Call of Duty now, I usually don't hear people over. Although
I don't like voice chat anymore. I used to be on a. Me and Sam used to play Modern Warfare 2 in high school a little bit, and we had a little group of friends at school, and then we just talk on the thing when we got home.
Yeah.
That was the most fun I've ever had with an online game, aside from like maybe Overwatch right now.
Yeah.
But like since that time, I haven't talked to anyone online pretty
Oh,
much because
really?
you typically, unless I know them, it's always kind of a shitty experience.
It can be. Well, I used to play Uno a bunch, and that was one of the few games. Uno on Xbox 360. It was one of the few games that utilized the camera. You could buy the
You'd
Xbox.
see their dick a lot.
I did see some female nudity, which
Like
was
a
kind
chat
of weird.
roulette
because-
kind of thing?
No, it's just you're playing Uno.
Oh, yeah, 'cause they had
and
the face
there's-
cam.
And there's 3 other people. Yeah, you
okay.
could have your camera enabled.
How was the
So,
nudity?
Either there would be some nudity or people playing porn or something like that.
Oh, why?
But I often met
Porn
really
and
nice
Uno
people.
sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Porn and Uno, yeah,
Go
no,
on.
it was the best. Yeah, there was one time where there was a guy who had set up. He must have been in his backyard or something. He had his 360 in a tent, and he had his girlfriend over.
I remember that he was on the porch.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, they were. I remember you were telling
Were
me
you
you
there?
filled me in.
I filled you in
and I
for
was like,
sure.
the fuck? And weren't they hotboxing a tent on their porch?
No.
That's
This is somebody else's story.
All right.
But he was in a
I
tent,
want to hear that one too.
Yeah.
and his girlfriend was there, and he was like telling her to he was like, "Hey, get naked for these people," and like she
Did she-
did. She was totally
Wow.
down.
They were in a
like,
tent,
fuck
weren't
you.
they?
She was totally she was in a
Yeah, because I was
tent.
like, how do you have an Xbox in a tent? And he's like, oh, we're on our porch right outside my window. So they ran everything through the window.
No, that actually might be true, but
That's
they
the
weren't hotboxing. There was
Okay.
no drugs involved.
I wouldn't have made
sure?
it up at the time. Pot was not on my
So wait,
radar.
this guy. So I want to go over this guy's plan. So he put a tent out on his porch with his
Yeah.
Xbox 360
And
with a
his
TV.
girlfriend.
Don't forget the
Invited
girlfriend.
his girlfriend
Yeah.
over,
Who
and then was
probably
playing.
at the time underage, but I was also underage. At
Yeah,
the
it's
time.
okay.
Well, no. He did check ages. He was like, "Hey, how old's everybody?" But
He checked ages before.
He's
How old are all of you?
While
Some
the
guys
kids
like,
are out.
I'm 13.
At the time,
Yeah.
I would have been 17 or 18. Maybe I was 18.
That'll be 5 tickets.
You're okay.
Anyway,
Yeah.
his girlfriend stripped naked for us, and it was
How boring was that
Hey.
night for those two? Like they got to a point where he's playing Uno and he's like, "Hey, strip," and she's like,
They probably had
I
super
was all
sex
for
afterwards.
it.
I was gonna say,
Okay.
they
Well, yeah,
probably
but
had
10
some
seconds.
good
I was like,
crazy
yeah,
sex,
do it,
you know?
okay.
He
Yeah,
was like,
like,
"You
I'm
awesome
playing
for
Uno.
doing that,
Oh,
babe,"
draw
and then-
four.
We'll leave the camera on. Let's do it.
They probably
Right
did.
here on the porch.
I bet you they recorded that whole thing.
His mom
for
brought
them
the
to watch
little
later.
pizza pinwheels.
maybe.
Those
some people
Uno
are
face
into
cams
that.
were teeny though, weren't they?
Oh yeah, they were
I
like
loved
little
it.
squares.
It had like a little ball joint, and it would pivot around. It looked like a little creature.
Oh, I think I remember.
So cute. But
It was
never
really fun.
works.
I met some pretty cool people. There was a dude from Britain that I met that I
There was
ended
that girl
up
that
friending,
stripped on there.
girl that stripped on there with her boyfriend. I definitely friended
people.
them.
Tent people. That sounds like a scary movie.
There were
If you're the 10
consistent people that I would play with.
contact us.
We'd
if
love
you're
to
the
see
10
you again.
people.
You can hear us 10 people.
So do you want to go to emails or do you want to do the last topic?
We
Yeah.
should probably go to emails real
Okay.
quick and then
Okay.
wrap.
We'll
her
do
up.
that next week
We're
then.
going right
Yeah.
along.
day is it?
Unless there's
What's
anything
that again?
super
Mail
Okay.
time.
I got.
Wait, we didn't sing the song.
I got.
When
a-
there's
Mail
mail, it makes me
time,
want
mail
a snail.
time.
If you
Mail
waggle,
time.
grab my
Wipe my
tail.
ass.
It's mail time.
Hold on.
Here.
This intro completely encapsulates the podcast in general because we were all just talking over each other.
Oh,
and
wait,
doing
Spencer, sorry,
different
sing the song.
things.
Can we do a
I'm excited
pop
for the
punk
song.
version?
No, he doesn't.
When
need to sing
there's
it.
mail,
Okay,
it makes me
emails
want
are
to
going
yell.
out.
Blue skadoosh.
When there's mail, it makes.
All right.
Oh, fuck. All right.
So we got an email during the show
What?
from a Cameron Veseloff.
Ooh.
Hi, Cameron.
The
I
director.
don't know.
Hi, Cameron.
I don't know where they're from.
We don't know where you're
Please say
from.
where you're from when you send an email.
Yes, we can say.
One time, I bit into a chicken nugget from Wendy's, and there was part of a chicken bone.
I've heard about beaks. I heard about.
That's
A
fucking
beak would
gross.
send me over the edge. I think a bone I could deal with. A beak would send me over. Because a bone, it's like, yeah, of course there's a bone in there.
A bone would gross me out
There was a-
too.
Well, you're eating a chicken. You
What
gotta
kind
kinda
of
deal
chicken
with it.
bone? Is it
There
just
was a
like
That's all I got.
battered
You want to
chicken
hear
head
one even worse that I
and
just
a
got?
6-piece
Oh, he
chicken.
just got one.
Ew.
McNugget.
What?
He just got a worse one.
I just got one from
Oh
Lauren
God.
Sorry,
Are these-
Cameron.
It's okay.
Hi,
Lauren
Lauren.
Francisco.
Cameron, I'm sorry about your
Is
chicken
she from
nugget.
San Francisco?
Mm.
Wait, who's this?
It's a new person.
Lauren Francisco.
Thank you,
Lauren
thank you,
Francisco!
first person. I don't
Sorry.
remember the name.
Cameron.
Cameron. Thank
That's what
you,
I just-
Cameron.
yeah.
That's why I said the
'Kay.
director, James Cameron.
Okay.
Sorry, Cameron.
Let's hear this one.
I was little and eating a bowl of Fruit Loops and didn't realize there was a caterpillar in it and
Oh.
had eaten it.
How'd you know it was
wait.
caterpillar after
Back
the
up.
fact?
Maybe
Back up a
spit up.
sec.
Could have been a gummy worm.
So she says there was a caterpillar and she ate it. She didn't realize it till after she ate it. So was it the texture? How
She
did she know
probably
it was a
spit it out.
So I
caterpillar?
imagine
I
it
hope.
would be
You know what I
maybe
mean?
half bit into the caterpillar, ate that first half,
It's-
and the
it's-
second half
it's,
just
uh,
fell out.
Panda
Or
Girl.
I think
Panda
she
Girl
bit.
3000.
Hi,
hi,
Panda Girl
Lauren.
Hi,
3000.
Lauren, what, so
Yeah, could you
explain to
explain
us.
it?
I bet you she bit into it, realized that it wasn't the right texture, and spit it out and found out that it was a caterpillar.
Okay, because
Could-
I was
could
like, if
be.
she ate the whole thing,
I don't know.
I don't know.
girl,
Fantastic.
what are you talking about?
You
How
know
did you
what
eat this
happened?
caterpillar?
She was.
I know
She
it's
said she was a little
caterpillar.
kid. Maybe her parents saw.
Oh, okay.
I bet you her parents maybe saw.
What if
a
her
piece of
parents
it.
saw her eat a caterpillar, and she was just like nom nom
It
nom?
tasted weird.
So she
Ew,
remembers it tasted weird,
I
but
feel
not
like
that.
caterpillars would be kind of like
Squishy.
squishy. And
tastes like dirt.
bland, but like
But
they don't have a
gooey?
lot of juices. Maybe
They
a little
have
fuzz.
they have little
I
like
think
hair all
one
over
All
them.
of them.
That's true.
Yeah.
Slimy yet satisfying. But I
Next
think
lunchbox.
against all that
Next
sugar,
lunchbox.
you can taste anything. Because it's,
Yeah.
fruity, sugary,
Man.
slimy, gummy dirt
Yeah.
flavor.
I fucking love Fruit Loops. That makes me so sad. I'm sorry.
Is there
I
any
don't know,
other
look,
great?
Grace, you
I'm
haven't found
sorry.
a rusty nail in Fruit Loops yet.
Oh gosh, that
You
would be
ever
the day.
wonder how much human flesh you've eaten in your life? Just from meat companies being
Every day.
shady and weird?
Oh, I thought you meant from like
If
biting
they
your
treat it
nails or
like
your
ethanol
fingers.
from gas, where they're just filling it with a little bit of human meat, then I
You're good
probably
with that?
would.
Okay.
It's okay.
Okay.
All right.
Anyway,
Moving
that's
on.
terrible, Cameron and Lauren.
Hey,
Cameron, Lauren,
hey,
I'm
Alex.
sorry
guys.
that you ate those.
Sorry.
Alex, could you move the thing over again? It's blocking it.
It's hard to.
Oh, just the bottom. Yeah. There
Yeah,
you go.
there
you
we
go.
go. Haha. Okay.
All right, next email, Alex.
Do it to it.
So, here's one from Mohammed Bhatti.
Hello, Mohammed.
I don't know where they're from.
We
But
don't know.
this
where
is a
you're
question
from.
for you, Dan.
Oh.
How consistent is Lunchbox with Dan going to be? Is it going to be randomly uploaded depending on what is for lunch in the office, or will there be actual food purchased for the show, similar to Toy Chest?
Well, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday at 12 p.m., 3 p.m., 5 p.m. are all episodes.
Call it food chest.
What?
No, I'm
What does that mean?
Wait. Go to.
Currently, we actually did film an episode yesterday that will be going up on Saturday. So
that was a rough
I like
all
that
done.
episode.
There will be an episode going up on Saturday. I still need to go through and check it. Stef edited it. And hopefully it'll be weekly. Currently, we're shooting for weekly. But, I don't want to say weekly just in case there's a week where there isn't something that great to pick from. But
Right.
It's free and fluid at the moment.
yeah, and I still don't feel like we've hit where the show's going
Thank
to
God,
eventually
Violet.
be. Like, I want to
Seriously.
give a little bit of growth room and
Yeah.
breathing room for the show to
Hey,
give us
Shake
time
and
to figure
Bacon
out
just
what.
subscribed.
Oh, nice.
Kinda fits.
Did you see
Perfect
what
time.
Violet wrote too, Dan? You saved
Shit.
them from the grilled cheese pizza.
Oh, thank
Good job.
you.
It's a.
that's how
you're
we do it.
helping people.
And also, like, I shouldn't negate you from trying out stuff that you might like, because Alex actually quite liked the grilled cheese.
Yeah, but did you see that cheese?
I think I got it a little too
I'm
late.
sorry.
Gross.
Yeah,
That-
'cause
that
mine was like
when
a
we got it,
curd.
it was still a little.
Ours was
But the whole
kind of.
thing was just so like
Yeah.
Oh my
That was
God,
how it
I
was
took a
when I
bite
ate it.
and I had to throw mine
I didn't
out.
want it
It
to
was
touch
so
my lips,
greasy.
but I
Yeah.
wanted to enjoy it because I love
Yeah.
pizza. Pizza's the best
Yeah.
You have to have
food
good
group
pizza, though.
ever.
Yeah.
So
Anyway,
Best
continue.
vegetable.
allow it some time to grow, but we are going to shoot for a weekly. My lunchbox actually should have came today, but I don't think it did.
All right.
The actual physical lunchbox. So the next episode won't have the lunchbox.
There's
But-
plenty of ideas with it though. Like you
Yeah.
can go forever.
Yeah.
Like I don't want it to be too encumbersome or anything. I want it
Yeah.
just
You
us
do it when you
dicking
feel
around,
like it.
trying
What
food
if? Yeah.
and having fun.
You buy those 10 lunch boxes, and the goal is to fill. That's the maximum.
I
I'm
love
watching
when
the
Joe's
cogs
coming up
just
with an
start
idea
turning.
out of his head right
It's
now.
not there yet, but it's arriving, and I'm
Yeah.
trying to. But it's you have that volume to fill,
The tins.
and then you got like a suitcase.
Can I pat
Like,
it with
oh,
water?
Am I gonna get? Oh, my suitcase. Okay, my suitcase is latched, and then it's like, here you go, Dan, or whoever the contestant is.
It's gonna be a square of
This
food.
is- That's
Holy
what. Yeah.
shit.
So it could be.
I was joking
slew of
because
things.
like some episodes we won't be able to reveal out of the lunchbox what
they're
the
too
food
big.
item is because
Yeah.
it's too big. Like the pizza wouldn't have fit, but it'd be funny to jam a whole pizza into that
That'd be
box.
hilarious. And
Because
you take it out,
I
it's
bought
like,
an old vintage, like one of those like pails, like those
Yeah.
big kind of like
Yeah.
barn
Like a
like
classic
looking
lunchbox.
things.
Oh,
Yeah, it's a
okay.
classic lunchbox. So I bid it on eBay and it was like $10, so it worked out.
Sweet.
But
Cool.
yeah, so lunchbox coming this weekend, and hopefully it'll be weekly. We'll try to keep up with it.
It's pretty easy.
Alex has no stoppage of suggestions though, so he.
Oh, I
there's
also
like
have one,
5
too.
Today.
I think it'll be a
They
good
just
one.
keep
Yeah.
coming.
So there's plenty of weird specialty items at different places. So
How many more
Yeah.
do you guys want to do? You want to do one more?
one more.
Yeah.
Okay.
One more. Make it good.
This is from Lauren in Connecticut.
Oh,
Hi, Lauren in
hi
Connecticut.
again,
Lauren.
Lauren, too.
She is in the chat as Miss_Foxes.
Hello, Miss
Oh, I
underscore
feel like
Fox.
I'm
I've
drinking
heard
a
that
Fox
before.
beer.
Hey, look, it's you, Lauren, from where? Chicago?
Connecticut.
Connecticut. Shit.
So
Sorry,
the
Connecticut.
question is, if you could live in any fantasy world from a book, movie, show, game,
Didn't you
etc.,
ask this last
what place
episode?
I like
would
this
you be?
question.
Yeah,
though.
didn't you
I
ask
remember
this
this
last episode?
question.
Did you guys give an answer?
Yeah.
Oh, what'd you say?
I said like Batman World, but
Batman.
that's
Oh,
Yeah,
that's my
we-
stock.
no, we did this
What
last
did I
time.
say?
Sorry,
You know
Lauren,
what?
sorry.
I actually got multiple emails from her with
Oh,
the
okay.
same question.
Well, thank you. That was your second
yeah,
question,
sorry,
Miss Foxes.
Lauren.
Dan,
Yo,
Joseph is
Yes.
asking the question.
Dan Joseph.
Dan Joseph, that's
We know,
cool.
Sorry,
we know,
Joe.
Which
no,
Joseph?
No, we know Joseph.
Oh yeah.
Alchemy?
Oh, Joseph.
Oh, hello,
Zoroku.
Joe.
Dan, are you planning on, or anybody, are you guys planning on playing Life is Strange on your channels?
What is Life is Strange?
I edited it for James.
It's been on the list for me forever, and it's definitely up there. But
You'd enjoy it.
I need to catch up with Telltale stuff first, and
You'd
then
enjoy-
I will play Life is Strange because it's on the list.
I have
never
no
heard of
comment
it?
because I don't.
It's
I
like
haven't
a
heard of it.
story-based
Lauren.
horror game, kind
Oh.
of like Telltale,
I'd try
except
it.
you're exploring as multiple people. It's on
Yeah.
PlayStation. It was
I've
a good
heard
game.
really good things.
Yeah, the
Okay.
game was pretty good. There's some twists and turns, and you can get people killed.
I'd totally try that.
Ruh-roh.
though.
Joe,
Wait.
on your personal channel,
No,
are you
I'm
gonna
thinking
be
of the
playing
wrong
Life
game.
is Strange.
I will be playing Overwatch exclusively.
Thinking of, I thought of the wrong
You
game.
should record and upload Overwatch.
All right, I'll do
You
it.
should.
You should do it. Do you
Yay,
still have your
there's
so
Solar
much
channel?
I was
I can't
thinking
remember the
of the
login.
wrong
Can I
game.
come on channel sometime?
Yeah.
I thought of the wrong game.
But you
Life
gotta
is
be good
Strange?
at
I was thinking of
Overwatch.
something on PlayStation. What am I
I'm not
thinking
going on
of?
channel. Can
Oh,
I
you're
just
thinking
narrate?
of that horror one.
Sure you want?
Yeah.
Oh, you can be our shoutcaster.
Yeah.
Dawn.
I like that.
Oh, Until Dawn. That's what I was
Until
thinking
Dawn
of.
was what he was thinking of. Anyway,
Are we
I also
answering-
would like to play that.
I've never
Okay.
played Life is Strange.
Are we-
I'm not. What?
Are we answering the if you could? I know we already answered it.
If
once.
you live anywhere,
Yeah.
Joe, fantasy or fictional world,
Dragon Ball Z,
fantastic.
Master Roshi's little island.
Are you gonna search for the Dragon Balls in that world?
No, I'm gonna hang out on that island and
Not
Master
do
Roshi's
shit.
wait
Island?
till death.
I want to live in
Shit happens
Ireland.
on that
Just
island every
enjoy.
once in a while, though.
That's true, but
You can hide. right?
99% of it is just being an old man on an island with a
Oh, I
turtle.
chose Avatar: The
That
Last
sounds kind of
Airbender.
nice.
Avatar, where would you go, Steph?
Avatar's good.
Last Man on Earth.
Oh, I love that show. I don't know
That
where
sounds
I'd
like an
go.
awful
That's a
movie.
really hard question because there's so
land?
many possibilities.
Alex, go to my camera.
No.
A land of apple cinnamon Cheerios without rusty nails.
No, there's one nail.
And on that note,
I'm glad you're so brave that you
thank
can stand
guys
up for the little guy.
watching the Hubcast for today,
Yeah.
Wednesday, the 5th of October. We will see you guys next week with another fresh Tubcast episode.
Tubcast?
Tubcast.
Fresh
Tubcast
Tubcast.
episode. We're gonna be in the tub, guys.
What's
So-
it gonna be filled with? We don't know.
Okay, how fucking
There's a
funny would that
segment.
be,
Nails
though, if
and
it turned
Cheerios.
on and there's just a
Whoa.
huge tub here instead of the table, and we're all just sitting in the tub.
One person
I
has to be
love
naked.
Steph's
Play it out,
ideas.
Alex.
I love
Ideas.
Steph's ideas.
You're like,
I'm not being naked in the tub.
hey.
Party. To the back. Party.